Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing what I think is an absolutely stunning red rose brooch. So the reason for the red rose is burnsnight. It's coming up soon for everyone in Scotland. That's a big celebration of Rabbie Burns or Robert Burns, a famous Scottish poet. And one of his poems, if you'd have seen a video last week, I did mention it on that, was a red rose. So I thought I would do a rose brooch for that celebration. So I'm using airdryclay. I haven't used clay since I was at school, and that was a long time ago. But I thought I'd start off using the airdryclay and the mould that Vicky from work kindly gave me. Thanks, Vicky. And just make the base of the brooch with that. So I'm just kneading the airdryclay just to make it a little bit softer. It is softer than I expected actually. I expected it to be a bit more rough, if you know what I mean. But anyway, and then I'll smooth it into the mould. Now you will see I'm just pushing it in. This is the first time I've ever done this. It's the first time I've ever put anything in a mould properly. So I'm just basically pushing it in. I decided to get a tool to flatten it out with and just to take off the bits that were over the top, and I was a bit too rough with that. You'll see as we're going along that as I pull it away, I pull half of the clay off with it. There we go. I try to sort it out, but it doesn't work, so I actually redo the mould and it works out a lot better. So I've worked the clay into the mould a lot better, and as I'm removing it, I'm not pulling it like as forcefully across the top of the mould. It does peel back again there, you see, but I do push it back in, and then I just be a little bit more careful with it, really. I can be a bit hard-handed at times, so I just gently smooth it out, make sure all the bits, so there's no bits round the edge, bits of clay that would make it look not right when it came out of the mould. I know what I'm talking about. And as you can see, that's a lot better. It's a lot better than the previous one. So it's at this point I realise I need to go and wash my hands, and while I'm washing my hands I think, oh, I need to flatten the top of that down because it had a little bit of a dome on it. So I'm just pushing it down just to flatten it a little bit. So once the rose bit of it is done, it will actually sit flat. So I'm just going through some temporary tattoos here to see if I can find a rose, and it looks like this one may be the winner. So it looks like this one's going to be ideal, so I'm going to very carefully cut it out of the picture, the tattoo, because I don't want to ruin the actual other roses in the tattoo, just in case I want to use those again. So I do it very carefully. So now it's time for the UV resin. So make sure you've got protection, guys. Make sure you've got your PPE on. Also, please make sure that you're wearing some form of protection for your eyes when using UV resin. Some sunglasses, some high resistant ones, or even the goggles that you get from do you remember, I don't know if people used to onto some beds and they used to give you those goggles to put on to protect your eyes. Well, to me it's the same thing, UV resin, the UV light. So just remember to wear something. I have a pair of sunglasses that I tend to put on while I'm doing UV resin now. So it's very cold here in the UK at the moment, and I know most of you from Canada and America and even those from like Scandinavia are going to be thinking, that's not cold. It was like 2 degrees. It's cold. So the UV resin itself is very, very thick. I'm not sure if you can actually put UV resin into a warm bath before you use it. I know with normal resin you can, just to make it a little bit thinner, but I'm not sure about UV resin. If you do know that, please comment below and let me know if you can warm it up a little bit just to make it a little bit thinner. But it was thick, and I'm just moving it about the actual mould here. Now I'm thinking that I've got bubbles in the mould, but they weren't bubbles. There was something actually stuck in there, so I finally managed to get it out. So I do give this quite some time. I did 2.5 minutes on either side to make sure that this was cured completely. And then I added the rose. And I did remember to take the plastic sheet off. Hooray! So I'm just using a good old wet wipe here to wet the back of the tattoo, just to make it stick onto the resin, and it worked like a charm. It came straight off the backing. So then it was just a case of filling up the mould, and I gave it another, I did 3 minutes on either side for curing with the lamp, just to make sure it was cured properly. Not only is it thick, but I'm also running out of UV resin, and I'm running out of normal resin as well. So hopefully on payday I'll be able to afford some more. I do actually love this cabochon on its own. I think it's quite pretty and would make a beautiful necklace or even some really nice earrings. So now I'm just checking what would be the best colour background. I wasn't keen on the black, but obviously the white was the winner. So on the back there was just a little spot where I'd actually covered up the hole that you're supposed to feed like the thing through for a necklace, and I thought about cutting it off or filing it down, and then I thought no, it's not causing any problems and it would probably help it stick down. So for this I'm using Gorilla Glue. It's just a universal glue. Again, this was really hard to get out of the actual bottle. I couldn't get it out for love nor money, so I ended up sticking the end of the paintbrush into it, and then I thought, oh, I was covered in glue at the end of it. I was going to try and squeeze it out again, and then I thought, well no, I'll just use what's on the end of the actual paintbrush and use that to put along the edge of the cabochon and then stick it down, and it worked really well actually. Now there's something coming up in a minute, guys, and let me know if you spot it, because I didn't spot it until I was actually editing this video, and it did scare me a bit. So here I've just got some old jewellery that I picked up at a car boot sale. That was it. What was that? Is that the spirit of the previous owner of the jewellery? Ooh, I've no idea what that was, but I hope it doesn't happen again. So I'm just cutting these into the lengths that I need. I know guys, I should be using some proper tools, but I've got these scissors, and they're blunt anyway, to be honest with you. I've had them for years and I've cut that much wired ribbon with them. They are blunt anyway, so I don't mind using them. So once these were cut, it was just a matter of gluing them down. So originally I thought I'd just actually glue the back of each one of these like diamantes, but that didn't really stick. So then of course I used my brain and I actually put glue onto the clay bit itself. Now this does look fiddly, and it was. My fingers were still stuck up with glue from when I'd put the actual paint back end of the paint stick into the glue tub, so my fingers were still sticky, but eventually we got there. So once I got the diamantes where I wanted them, I left them for a couple of hours to dry. I just wanted to make sure that they were dry and they were in place before I started painting it. So here's a little sneak peek of something that's coming up soon. I hope you enjoy this video too. So once it was dry, I just went over the white or the creamy areas with some gold paint. I did think about putting some actual gold flakes on there, but I should have done that really before I even started gluing things down. But I think the gold paint works out great. Yeah, please do. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please do give me a like and comment on what you would probably do. Would you change anything? Would you have added the gold flakes? So here I'm just quickly going over it with a hairdryer just to get the paint dry. So what do you think, guys? I think it's absolutely stunning. To say that is a tattoo in UV resin is unbelievable. And to say the whole thing is made out of clay, UV resin and a broken necklace. It's amazing what you can do. I absolutely love it. I think it's stunning. What do you think? Please do leave a comment and let me know. And please do like and subscribe. As I've said previously, liking and subscribing does help the channel. It does help the channel grow and it moves me out so other people can see it on YouTube. Would you wear this for burns night? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.